Welcome to Vinex Studio. Let's start making games. Hi and welcome to another tutorial series on Unity. Today we are going to see about Unity coroutines. Coroutines are like any other loops in C#, with the only difference between coroutine and another loop is you can pause a coroutine when you want it. So if you want to execute some part of the code over number of frames in Unity, then you can use a coroutine to execute that. Or if you want some codes to be executed in sequence, one after the other, then you can use coroutines. In this tutorial, we'll see how to start a coroutine, how to declare a coroutine, how to pause a coroutine, and how to stop a coroutine. So let's get started. Let's create an empty game object which will hold our code for the coroutine. So let's call it coroutine test. And let's add a script to it, and let's call it test script. Create an add. Let's open it in Visual Studio for editing. Now I'll not be using the update function, so I'm going to delete that. Now let's create a new coroutine. So coroutines have a return type of IEnumerator. Then you can go ahead with the function name. So we'll call it wait for 3 seconds. So inside any coroutine, you can give whatever code you want. And in order to pause a coroutine, you have to use a yield statement. The yield statement sets the value for your IEnumerator. Now basically IEnumerator is of data type enum. And what I mean by enum is it takes some set of predefined data only. For example, if you are using a compass, it can only have east, west, north, and south. So the enum data type of a compass can take only 4 values. So to set that value, you have to use an yield statement. And in our case, this yield statement tells the system whether to process this coroutine now or to process it after some time. So this is how you use the yield statement. You type yield, then you type return. So it returns, and it returns an IEnumerator. Now, if you want the function to pause for some time, there are a lot of options available. Some like wait for second, wait until, wait while, wait until next frame. If you want the coroutine to wait until next frame, so you can just return null. And if you want it to wait for some 3 seconds, like our function name says, so you have to give new wait for seconds, and then we're going to wait for 3 seconds, so it's 3. And after 3 seconds, we'll just debug log. We'll just say wait for sample. Now we have declared a coroutine, but there should be a way to start the coroutine. To start a coroutine, you have to give start coroutine, and in brackets, you can give the function name as a string, or you can just call it like a method, like wait for 3 seconds. So in the start function, I'm starting the coroutine, and after 3 seconds, it will debug a log. So let's go to Unity and check this out. Let's open the console window, play our game. So after 3 seconds, the message is displayed. There are a lot of options to wait in Unity. So like wait for seconds, you can also say wait until. So you can just type in here, wait until, and it will wait till the parameter is true. And similarly, you can say wait while, waits till the parameter is false. You can also wait till another coroutine is finished. So for example, we can also convert the start into a coroutine by making the return type as IEnumerator. And then using an yield statement before starting the coroutine. So we'll go just yield return start coroutine. So basically the start function will wait until the coroutine is completed. So once a coroutine is completed, we'll say debug.log coroutine completed. So now if we go back to Unity and test the code, so first it will wait for 3 seconds and print our first message. And once the message is printed, then it will print coroutine completed. Now we know how to start a coroutine and how to pause a coroutine. In both the examples we saw, the coroutines will get completed by itself. So if you have a coroutine that gets completed by itself, you don't have to stop it. But if you have a coroutine that keeps on executing, then you need to stop it manually. For example, let's put a yield statement inside a while loop that is always true. So let's have a boolean and let's call it always true equal to true. So if we say while always true, and inside the while statement we'll have our yield and the debug statement. Let's close the while loop, save our code. Now our start is no longer a coroutine, so our start function is calling the coroutine. This coroutine is something that will never end because of the while loop. So now let's go back to Unity and play our game. So as you can see, after every 3 seconds, the wait over message is getting displayed. So how do we stop this coroutine? So in order to stop, you have to use something called as stop coroutine. So you can just say stop coroutine, and inside the coroutine you have to give the string name. So you have to give the name of the function as a string input. So in our case it's wait for 3 seconds. Okay, so now let's go back and let's play the game. The reason the stop coroutine didn't work is because it will work only if you call the start coroutine function in the same way as the stop coroutine. So if you had called it using a string input of the function name, then the stop coroutine would work. Now let's go to Unity, clear our console, play the game. So now the start coroutine is called and the stop coroutine is called immediately. So the coroutine does not print any message. If you call your coroutine as a method, like we had done earlier, so this way of stopping the coroutine will not work. So for that, you have to declare a variable of type coroutine, and let's call this co. Then you have to assign that variable when you're calling the function. COU equals to start coroutine. Now while stopping, rather than giving the function name, you have to give the variable name. So now if you play the game, there should not be any message. So we waited 3 seconds and there's no message. So the coroutine has started and stopped on its own. You can also stop a coroutine using an I enumerator. Rather than declaring a variable of type coroutine, you can just declare a variable of type I enumerator. And assign the I enumerator using the function . And in the stop coroutine, you have to mention the enumerator's name. So let's go to Unity and test the code. Play the game. The coroutine should not work. So we have waited for 3 seconds, but the message is getting displayed. Oops. The reason it didn't work is because while starting the coroutine, you have to give the enumerator rather than using the function. So now if you go ahead and play the game, the coroutine should not work. Okay, it's working now. The last way to stop a coroutine is using a break statement. So let's remove all this. We don't need an enumerator. So we'll go ahead with the regular way. Just start coroutine and let's wait for 3 seconds. We don't need a stop coroutine statement. You can just go and give a break statement inside the coroutine. In place of yield return, you have to give yield break. Anything after the break statement will never be executed. Let's go back to Unity and play the game. So now the coroutine starts, but we break it using the break statements. To be sure that this coroutine is called only once, let's put the debug statement in front of the break statement so that at least once it will print the message and then break the coroutine. So let's go to Unity. We play the game. It prints the message, then breaks the statement. So after that, the coroutine is never called. So this is the basic of Unity coroutines. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment box below, and you can also refer to the blog post Vinix Studio for code samples. See you in the next tutorial.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.